Hello, I'm Manangan. Today I will discuss to you the topic covers in all chapter inside Prop 223. We proceed to Chapter 1, Society, Community, and Education. Introduction to Society, Community, and Education. Education is generally seen as the foundation of society, which brings economic wealth, social prosperity, and political instability. It is a major aspect of development of any modern society and most significant instability of overall development of any region. Emil emphasizes the role of education system in the preservation of society and culture. Particularly, it is very important in complex societies where families and other primarily groups are not fully equipped to prepare the young for adulthood that is expected by a larger society. John Dewey wrote extensively on this theme, and his two contributions are very appropriate here. The School and Society on 1899, Democracy and Education on 1916. He argues that the school is a miniature and reflection of society rather than individual. The ultimate objective of school and schooling process is to foster the growth of social progress and expansion of democracy. They have four philosophical perspectives used in educational setting: essentialism, perennialism, progressivism, and social reconstructionism. Essentialism. Essentialism adheres to a belief that a core set of essential skills must taught to all students. Essentialism tend to privilege traditional academic disciplines that will develop and prescribe skills and objectives in different content areas as well as development and common culture. Typically, essentialism argues for a back-to-basics approach on teaching intellectual and moral students. Essentialism curricula focuses on reading, writing, computing clearly, logically about objective facts about the outside real world. Perennialism. Perennialism advocates for seeking, teaching, learning universal truths and span across historical time period. These truths perennialism argues have everlasting importance in helping humans solving problems regardless of time and place. While perennialism resembled essentialism for first glance, perennialism focuses on the individual development of the student rather than emphasizing the skills. All students should take classes in English language, arts, foreign language, mathematics, natural science, fine arts, and philosophy. Progressivism. Progressivism focuses in the educational stance toward experiential learning with a focus on developing the whole child. Students learn by doing rather than being lectured by the teacher. Curricula is usually integrated across content instead in the different disciplines. Progressivism stands in the stark contrast of both essentialism and perennialism. In this manner, progressivism follows a clear pragmatic analogy when the learner focuses on solving real-world problems through real experience. Social reconstruction. Social reconstruction was founded as the response to the atrocities of World War II and the Holocaust to assure a human cruelty. Social reform in response to helping prepare students to make better world through instilling democratic values, critical pedagogy in the application of critical theory, the education for critical pedagogies, teaching and learning is inherently a political act declared that knowledge and language are not neutral, nor can they have objective. Therefore, issues involving social, environmental, or economic justice cannot be separated for curriculum. Classical philosophies. Idealism. Idealism is oldest philosophy in the modern culture. It is a philosophical approach stating that ideas and knowledge are the only true reality. The main focus of idealism is on conscious reasoning in the mind. The father of idealism, Plato, believed that people should concern themselves in searching for the truth. As a Greek philosopher, he believed that man did not create knowledge but discovered it. The two the two famous words of Plato are the public and the dialogue. Realism in is the belief that we should study logic, critical thinking, and scientific method to teach students to perceive and understand reality. As you might imagine, there is a heavy emphasis on math and science. Though the humanities can also be influenced by educational realism. Existentialism. Existentialism is a teaching and learning philosophy that focuses on the student's freedom and agency to choose their future. Existentialist educators believe there is no God or higher power guiding their students. Pragmatism. Pragmatism is an educational philosophy that says education should be teaching students the things that are practical for life and encourage them to grow into better person. Many famous educators including John Dewey, William James were pragmatism. Sociological perspective. The basic insight of sociology is the human behavior is shaped by the group to which people belong and by the social interaction that take place within the group. We are behave particularly point in space and time. People tend to accept their social world unquestioningly as something natural, but the sociological perspective enables us to see society as temporarily social product created by human beings and capable of change by them as well. Social dimension of education. Consensus and conflict theories, structural functionalism, interactional theories. Consensus and conflict theories. Social dimension of education. Consensus and conflict theories. This is a group of widely varying access to power and wealth. In the fact, primarily consensus theories stress what social groups have in common, while conflict theory stress the fact that different stress is a completely opposite form of human action, making form that center of all human society. Structural functionalism. Structural functionalism believes that society leans toward equilibrium and social order. They are society like a human body, in which institutions such as education are like important organs that keep the society body healthy and well. Interactional theories. Interaction theory is the approach to question about social cognition and how and understand other people. The focus of the bodily behaviors and the environmental context rather than on mental process. It argues against two other contemporary approach to social cognition, namely theory and simultaneous theory. Social and school institution, family, education, and religion. Family is a group of people who are related to each other, especially parents and their children. Education. The action or process of educating or being educated is stage of such a process. The knowledge and development resulting from the process of being educated in a person of a real education. Religion. The belief in the worship of superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Economic institution. A specific agency is a foundation, both government and private, devoted to collecting, studying economic data, or commissioned with the job of applying a good or service. It is important in economy of a country. The Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, the government tax collector agency, the U.S. Federation Reserve, the government producer of money, the National Bureau of Economic Research, a private research agency, are all examples of economic institution. Well-established arrangement and structure that are part of culture and society, competitive market, the banking system, kids, allowances, customary tipping, customer tipping, and system of property rights are examples of economic institution. Government. Government is the system of a group of people governing an organized community, generally state. In the case of a broad society definition, government normally consists of legislative, executive, and judiciary. Responding to the demands of society. The school is an institution of society, and its creator has the right to demand certain outcomes of its agent.